The Cleveland Cavaliers are the NBA's best story so far. Full stop. As of March 5th, they are 52-10, which is good for first in the Eastern Conference and is their best record this late into the season, since this guy was in town. They're first in offense, 7th in defense. Donovan Mitchell is playing like a top 10 guy in the league. After a down year last season, sparking trade speculation and questions about if he and Mitchell could play together, Darius Garland is back to being an all-star. Evan Mobley, already a great defensive player, has finally been unlocked offensively, fulfilling the massive expectations placed on him after being drafted 3rd overall 4 years ago, and should be a reminder to all of us that sometimes player development takes time. The hiring of Kenny Atkinson turned out to be the perfect fit. He eliminated the stagnant your turn, my turn offense that would hinder the Cavaliers at the worst possible times. To top it all off, Ty Jerome, a career two-way player who has played for 4 teams in 6 years, has emerged as a 6th Man of the Year candidate. It's been a dream season for the Cavaliers. All these questions about fit or potential that surrounded the Cavs heading into the season have been answered, solidifying their place among the inner circle of championship contenders, with the playoffs on the horizon. Their front office seems to think so as well, acquiring DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks, a wing who gives them the size they were desperately lacking, in an attempt to match up better with their biggest threat, the Boston Celtics. Speaking of Boston, with roughly 20 games left in the regular season, it's the Cavs and the Celtics who I think are the favorites to come out of the East. With apologies to the Knicks and Bucks, who I would put firmly a tier below. Yes, even with the recent playoff history between the Knicks and the Cavs, but more on that later. And more apologies to the Pacers, who have been playing some pretty good basketball and might be able to make another dark horse run to the Eastern Conference Finals. I just wish they could play defense. Which brings me to the final question the Cavs have to answer. Can you do it in the playoffs? Now I'm going to deviate a bit, but I promise I'll be able to tie it all together. I think. I want to tell a quick story about the 2021 San Francisco Giants. After winning 3 titles in 5 seasons from 2010 to 2014, the core players of those teams either grew old, became bad, or both. The run would eventually peter out, with the Giants compiling a losing record for 4 straight seasons. But then, they had a magical 2021. It seemed like everything that could go right, did go right. There were unexpected performances, a win-now trade, a return to form for past star players, and a leap from star to superstar. The Giants steamrolled their way to 107 wins, the best record in their 142-year existence, winning their division by 1 game over the rival Los Angeles Dodgers, who at the time tied their own record for most wins in a season. To this point, the Dodgers were a team of sustained excellence, winning the NL West 8 straight years until 2021, and after many years of heartbreak, finally broke through the year before, winning the World Series. And as fate would have it, they would meet in the playoffs. And due to a loophole in baseball's playoff matchup rules, they would meet in the very first round. The Giants would lose in 5 games to the Dodgers. A valiant effort, but ultimately timely hitting by 2 Dodger stars who were there for all the heartbreak and triumph would do the Giants in. Okay, so how does that story relate to the Cleveland Cavaliers? No matter how dominant or impressive I see a team be in the regular season, the validation and confidence I have in a team comes from if I've seen them do it before in the postseason. And for those teams that have come up short or have emerged as a relatively new contender, the question of can you do it in the playoffs hovers over them like a dark cloud, fair or not. And trust me, the Cavaliers aren't the only team this season eager to answer that question. The Cavs and the Celtics seem to be on a collision course in the East, with the trip to the finals at stake. And while I dislike making predictions, I honestly don't care who wins, I just want to watch great basketball. At this point in the season, if the Cavs and Celtics meet in the playoffs, and I had to pick a genuine toss-up between 2 really good teams, I would lean towards the team who's done it before. Only because, more often than not, I've seen this story before, and so have Cavs fans. The 2015 Atlanta Hawks, 60 wins, good for most in the Eastern Conference, after winning 38 games the year before, swept by LeBron James and the Cavs. The 2018 Raptors, 59 wins, most in the Eastern Conference, 9 more than the Cavs that year. LeBronto was born. Now, I wouldn't say Tatum today is as good as LeBron on those Cavs teams then, and I would say that Mitchell is firmly the best player out of those Hawks and Raptors teams. It's an imperfect comparison. But after the Cavs recently went into Boston, were quickly punched in the mouth, being down by as much as 22 in the first quarter, with Tatum yelling for them to get the out of here, only for the Cavs to come back and win, showing a resiliency and toughness explicitly missing during their last 2 playoff exits. Maybe the question of experience should be thrown out the window, at least for this year. Regardless, whatever happens this postseason, the Cavaliers are still one of the league's best stories, finally climbing back to the top of the East post-LeBron. making shrewd moves with great impact, drafting and developing 2 young stars, smartly acquiring 2 more, and not panicking and giving up on a core so soon after their previous playoff stumbles. The Cavs window should not just be open this year, but for the next few. Let's see if they can take advantage. Thank you for watching. My name is Kahai. Comment your favorite NBA story so far this season. Subscribe if it wasn't a check swing.
Oh, boy, that's bad.
I don't think he went.